Hey, what's up guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Let's talk about and review the Waymark Gear LITE 50 liter backpack today. This has easily been one of the best backpacks I have ever carried, and it's a frameless pack. We'll talk about that as we go through the review and talk about all the specs and features of the pack and such. But I gotta say that this is easily one of the most comfortable and enjoyable backpacks I have carried ever. And that's not to say that other packs like the Osprey Levity, which was not necessarily my favorite, or the Gregory Optic, or other packs that I have carried that fit into that lightweight range are not good packs. They are good packs, but I gotta say that just the experience of using this pack since October of 2019 has been awesome. I really don't have any big negative things to say about this pack. It has just performed so well. Now, before we get into all these specs and features about the pack, let's talk about who this pack is good for. Now, this pack works really well for somebody that is trying to save weight in their backpacking system and transition from a framed pack to a frameless pack. This pack really does do well in carrying loads comfortably. I, on a regular basis, have anywhere from 25 to 35 pounds of weight in this pack, and it handles that weight just fine. Yes, it is kind of on the extreme high level of it at 35 pounds, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for every trip. And this pack has a lot of space. I mean, it's 50 liters of space, and it's definitely able to hold a lot of gear on the inside of it. So you need to have the mindset and the mentality of, I've really got to reduce the weight of my gear to be able to make sure that I don't cross that 35 pound at the highest level of pack weight, to make sure that my experience with this pack really is positive, because frameless packs don't have a structure to them. They are not meant to carry that kind of weight. One of the things that I do to help with the comfort of this pack is I have a piece of foam that is placed here against the back panel, which is a pretty standard thing for a frameless pack. Sometimes they're on the outside, sometimes the inside, but I use that as a frame sheet of sorts that allows for this to have a little bit more structure and comfort against the back, but it doesn't provide the same concept that a framed with aluminum stays inside of the pack accomplishes with a backpack. But let's talk about the suspension system of the pack, since I've got this showing on this side. You've got really nice, really well shaped and thought out shoulder straps. That is a huge deal, because oftentimes with a frameless pack you may not have a hip belt, or if you do, you're still going to be carrying a little bit of that weight on your shoulders. And having really good shaped ergonomic shoulder straps that are able to articulate well with your body movement on a frameless pack is really important. And Waymark has done a fantastic job of creating a shoulder strap that is super comfortable, has this 3D mesh on it, and on the shoulder straps themselves you've got these daisy chain type of attachments that allow you to put things like this Peak Designs capture clip for your camera, or shoulder strap pockets, other things like that, and you've got that on both sides. Now when it comes to the hip belt, you've also got that same 3D mesh material. You don't have any padding against your back. However, my initial concern was, oh man, it doesn't have any kind of back panel pad that will help this be more comfortable. That has not been an issue in any way for me. It's been very comfortable. The only thing that's been kind of odd about it, but it honestly has not been an issue, is the X-Pack fabric will fold over right here where the weight is like pulling down on the hip belt once it's snugged tight, and it just kind of creates a fold, but it's not uncomfortable and it hasn't created any rubbing points or issues for me while I've been wearing the pack. Now there are several, I want to say 5 or 6 different hip belt sizes that you can choose from Waymark to be able to get the right fit for you and your size, as well as different size torso lengths. This is a medium large. I'm an 18.5 inch torso, which works really well for me. And then on the shoulder straps as well, which I didn't mention, is you do have load lifters or load shifters that do allow you to pull that weight against your back a lot more comfortably, and it just carries really well. One of the things that I see people complain about a lot, which I think is it is just what it is. But there is no kind of air movement that's going to happen against your back. And yes, if you are somebody that sweats a lot, you are going to sweat a lot wearing this pack. It's just part of the game, and know that up front, that you've got this piece of fabric sitting pressed against your back and you are going to sweat, but really not that big of a deal. So now the pack is a roll top style. You've got this Y-shaped strap that is here on the top of the pack, and the nice thing about how they have put this together is this Y right here allows you to adjust in both directions, to the back of the pack, to the front of the pack, so that if I've got a bear can, then I can make it so that it's more secure across the top, or if I've got a sleeping pad, I've got the ability to make different adjustments to make it more secure on the top of the pack. Like I said, roll top design. You've got this big collar, which just increases the total amount of space, but when you don't have as much gear in here like I do right now, this is probably minimally loaded, and then I can add additional gear in here. Now, before I get a bunch of comments or questions about this, I have never owned a bear canister, and I don't know the specifics on how a bear canister is going to fit on the inside of this. You'll want to check Waymark for an answer to that. I'm sorry I can't provide that because I don't hike in places, or I've not through hiked where I am required to use a bear canister. So sorry I can't help you with that. So let's talk about the overall design of the body of the pack. This is the redesigned LITE that Waymark came out with in late 2019. And the biggest difference is that they created with this is, instead of making this box style pack that has a lot of corners and a lot of wear points, they were able to do a total redesign and make the bottom of the pack way more rounded. And so that's going to help with a few different things. It's going to reduce the amount of wear points with less corners and stuff on the pack, but having that rounded bottom actually shifts the load up a little bit on your back, so you're able to carry the pack a little bit higher on your back and then have a more comfortable carry. And that's awesome that over 3 years or so that Waymark has been around, been able to redesign, create a better pack that just carries better, fits the load better, and is a more comfortable experience out on the trail. Now here on the side of the pack, you've got really generous sized side pockets that I can easily carry 2 of these sized smart water bottles, or these essential bottles, and they make it so that it is very easy with the pack on to reach back, pull the bottle out, get a drink, and that is a huge deal. I hate, and I've said this in many reviews in the past, I hate taking my pack off to be able to get a drink of water. So that's awesome, really well designed. And you've got the option as well of being able to add a tall pocket. If you are going to go more of the custom side of how you want your pack built, you can get a tall pocket like I have here that just allows for you to capture and hold on to things a little bit better. For example, my tent poles, they're not quite tall enough to reach these side compression straps, and so I like to put my tent poles in here so that they are more contained and are more secure inside of the pack. Now here on the front of the pack, you've got this heavy duty mesh that allows for you to place all different sorts of items. Water filter, I've got a little chest pack here, first aid kit, bug spray, that kind of stuff. And you can also get this in the Lycra, like 4-way stretch mesh, as opposed to this heavy duty mesh, depending on what your preference is. I actually really like this heavy duty mesh. It allows for things to breathe and such back there. And then you've got various different types of attachments here on the pack. On the bottom, you've got this ice axe loop, and you've got a shock cord at the top for you to attach that. You've also got shock cord on the other side to attach, with 2 loops here at the bottom for your trekking poles when you're not carrying your trekking poles in your hands. Then you've also, on the very bottom of the pack, got these cordage straps that allow you to attach whatever you need to on the bottom. Maybe it's a chair, maybe it's a jacket, that kind of thing, and really well put together. line lock, so it's all one system that just feeds together on one piece instead of having multiple adjustments. Last thing to mention here on the pack is you do get included one hip belt pocket that is very well sized, that I can fit all kinds of snacks in, as well as my chapstick, my cell phone, which I have the largest cell phone that you can get from Apple, and that fits in there just fine. Just everything about this pack has exactly what you need for being able to get out into the backcountry and be comfortable without having a bunch of extra random things that are just kind of there for maybe I'll use this, maybe I won't. Really, really awesome design and just well thought out, and I really have enjoyed my experience with this. I didn't talk about this quite yet, but this is using an X-Pack material throughout the pack, so it's very abrasion resistant. It's gonna hold up for a long time, and it's also got some water resistant aspects to it. No, this is not seam sealed, it is not seam taped, but you can have this out in a rainstorm and your gear is going to stay pretty dry for a decent amount of time while you're out there. And if you are concerned about it, you can definitely use a pack liner, and that will help protect things a lot. So there you go, guys. That is the Waymark Gear LITE 50-liter backpack. I have just thoroughly enjoyed my experience with this over the past several trips. It's been a great experience. Cannot say enough good things about it, and would definitely recommend it if you are looking for a pack that really allows you to transition into more of the lightweight, ultralight aspect and save weight in your backpacking system. Appreciate you guys watching today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification to get notified when I post new videos. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I'm enjoying an awesome day. It's beautiful here in the forest, and we'll catch you on the next video. See you later.